First off, I want to say thanks for joining. I think tonight, like I was just saying, we're gonna break down a lot of different things. But at the least, I'd say just try to keep an open mind and to kind of let the content that we go over here just spark different thoughts, different trains of thoughts, and just to kind of visualize and see what AI itself is going to do for businesses, individuals, and industries, and the world at whole. So yeah, Zeller, if you wanted to give a quick introduction first, and then we could start sharing my screen and dive into what we got
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Dom, I'm not going to go too in depth because everything that Dom's going to cover today is going to go extremely in depth on everything. But there's no avoiding this. There's no avoiding the changes that are coming to the world because of AI. We're too far gone. There's no way to turn back. So the best thing that we can do is embrace it and live our lives to the fullest with it in partnership. Because this is especially when AI right now is smarter than most humans, but it's going to be pretty soon where it's going to be smarter than all humans combined. And so, in a way, in some aspects, it already is. In some aspects, it's got some room to grow. But this is going to be life changing when you start to look at this, and a lot of people want to avoid AI. Oh, it's the machine, it's all that. Everything has good and bad. Every single thing. You can find spiritual growth and aligning with AI. I think it's really important because at Atlantis, we do focus on spirituality. I just want to mention the spiritual view I have of that, and then I'll turn it over to Dom. But the spiritual view I have of AI is, we as spiritual beings, we're able to access many different dimensions, and our part of being on this earth is to grow, to slowly learn how to access and work with those different dimensions. The basic one is starting to work with energy, which is working with the spirit world, right? Or astral travel. And so directly, AI right now can only access the third dimension and probably the fourth dimension through quantum. And eventually, I foresee it will only be able to access the fifth dimension. Through my studies, spiritually, if we continue, we can access 12 plus dimensions individually. Okay. And what that means is you can ask questions. That's a different conversation. But what I'm getting at is that AI doesn't have a soul. We have souls. So we can work in unison with it. There are people that are going to connect their brains directly to it. I don't think that we need to do that. I think that we can work with it outside of, changing our physiology. But I just want to tell you, because I get a lot of people that talk about when I mention AI, like, oh, it's evil, it's of the devil, it's them trying to take over. There are people using AI, of course, to have more control over others. There's people also maybe equally or even more people using it for good and to benefit other people's lives. So I just want to mention that. But yeah, no matter what, can't avoid it. So yeah, Dom, if you're ready, go ahead. Your camera. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Never mind.
absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the introduction here, Zeller. But yeah, so just to start off, guys, basically, artificial intelligence is an unstoppable wave at this point. Um, AI now is starting to revolutionize every single industry across the entire world. But the craziest part is that most people don't even realize it yet. It's happening behind the scenes. And just this year, because of the release of ChatGPT and all these new tools, it has opened up an insane door of opportunity for businesses to automate things, businesses to do things that used to take them days or weeks to happen in seconds. So, just to start off there, I just want to make it clear that, it's transforming everything. And even if we can't see it yet, it is happening behind the scenes. And today, hopefully I could break down, all the different ways that this is happening. And, everybody can prepare ourselves and just have that in the back of their mind as they make different decisions going forward. So today we'll try to dive into, a lot of different thought-provoking concepts, like I said. And I would just ask just to try to keep an open mind. Feel free to ask questions as always. But if anything, just let this spur some new thoughts, some new different things we haven't really thought about yet. So to start off, I'm sure a lot of us maybe know exactly what AI is, but AI itself, artificial intelligence, is basically the key to unlocking limitless potential of intelligent machines. So we've had machines for a long time now, but those machines haven't had intelligence in the way that humans have. So from self-driving cars to personalized medicine, AI is revolutionizing all of it. And this is all possible through the power of computing. And we're going to touch on that just a little bit more. We have computing power and we have data. That is what is allowing this to happen now. So some of you guys may say, I've heard this from a lot of people, AI has been around for a while. Everybody says we'll take over. It's actually happening now. And it's all because of data and computing power. And like I said, we'll touch just a little bit more on that. But, if you want to just think of this basic term of what is AI, it's simply at the most simple thought, just recreating the human brain with highly advanced math equations. And it's crazy to think like this, guys, because once you really dive into these equations and you see, it's crazy that math is actually the basis of our human brains. It's just really mind-blowing. And once that really clicked within me, it's just like, wow. Like, people make AI this really confusing topic, but all it is basically creating a human brain through code powered by computing power. So just so we all know, if anyone ever asks or everyone tries to tell you what AI is, that's all it is at the beginning. That's all it is at the complete base level. So just to go over a quick evolution here, guys. 1950 to 1960, that was actually the birth of AI as a field of study. Very early developments like machine learning and problem solving. But the problem here, guys, is we didn't have any data and we didn't have any computing power. So those are the two keys that we're going to now touch on why this is all possible now. So then the 1970s and 80s, there's some challenges because of the data and the computing power and setbacks. People call it the AI winter. And just like I said, computing power was very limited and we just didn't have the resources at that time. So then 1990, 2000, that's when the tech boom really starts going. AI experienced a nice resurgence. There was big advancements in areas like natural language, which we're going to talk a little bit about, computer vision and expert systems, but still not really much is happening at this point. Then we have 2010 to 2022. Keep in mind, guys, this is when the iPhone came out. This is when technology as we know it actually became. Now it's like we can't even imagine life without Instagram or without Google or without the new iPhone. But that's only happened in the past 15 years. So this rapid progress, as we can see right here, guys, it was all fueled by this data farming that all of these social medias do, and Google and all the search engines. They're basically capturing every little piece of data. And this is all now being used to train these models. And it's very, very interesting. So there were breakthroughs, in the last few years, speech recognition, classifying images, autonomous systems. But 2022 is going to be the turning point that will always be looked back at, guys. This was the first large-scale consumer chatbot that was AI, and that was ChatGPT as we know it now. Since then, this has exploded the AI field. So I had somebody ask me or comment the other day, yeah, I've heard about AI for 5-10 years now. People are always going to say that. But guys, this is all now different. And that is now basically thrown out the door because of ChatGPT. What this has done to just the tech industry is it's opened up millions of doors. And this is all in the past year. So we're going to touch more on how we're early here, but I just want to make it very clear. Everybody that's on this stream right now, you guys are early. And you guys, I think it's a blessing that we could all see this information and do what we can to be prepared for it in the future. So as I said, just to reiterate one more time, this is all possible now because of the power of computing. Not sure why this highlight's messing up here, but all because of the power of computing and the vast amounts of data. So before we go on to the next slide here, guys, this is NVIDIA. If you're not familiar with NVIDIA is essentially a chip manufacturer, or they're a chip designer, and they create all the GPUs and all the CPUs that power almost all of our computers now today. And as we've seen, just since 2015, NVIDIA's up. It's a little blurry, but it's about 7,000%. So this right here shows that, all of this is now possible through these chips. And I know it's highly technical, but it's good. I wanted to touch on this because it's good to know. and it's completely translated in the NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA stock has outperformed even a lot of cryptos because of how important these chips are, and the demand for these chips have just exploded. So as always, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know Zeller may be able to answer some in there. I will keep eyes on there. But yeah, I know a lot of this might go over your head. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things today, but it's all going to be recorded. So just do your best, I guess, to try to follow along here. So yeah, before we get even a little bit more deeper, we're just going to break out some of these terms because we probably have heard of these. AI itself refers to the creation of intelligent machines that can perform tasks that typically require a human brain. Then we have something under that umbrella called machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of AI that uses statistical techniques, aka highly advanced math equations, to enable these machines to improve with experience. This is the difference in just a regular computer and now these AI systems. Then we have deep learning. Deep learning is another umbrella under AI, and it's a subset under machine learning that uses neural networks, we call them, to enable the machines to learn from all this data we've now collected over the past 10 years. And then data science, the oldest one of all of these, is basically just analyzing data and extracting different knowledge and different insights from it. So I included this handy little graphic here just because as time goes on and we're going to keep talking about different things here and you're going to hear all these things in the news, just always know artificial intelligence is the big bubble. Within that is machine learning. Within that is deep learning. And all of that is a subset of data science. So like I said, if any questions, feel free to ask, but I just want to make this clear before we dive more into it. We won't really use these terms today, but if you do your own research and you start getting more into the AI field, you'll come across these, and just knowing the difference will definitely do you well and stop any confusion going forward. So we'll start off by talking about some industries that are going to be transformed by AI and that already are. Healthcare. AI right now is already, and once again, guys, the key here is we don't know about it. Society, the average American, the average citizen, in whatever country you're in, we're not hearing about these things. These things are happening behind the scenes. And I'm here to show that from my year of research and utilization of AI already, I now realize that this is all happening. And I want to do my best, us at Atlantis, me and Zeller, to, make sure everybody is aware of this because it's going to change so much. And we're going to see this right now. So the early detection of cancer, personalized medicine, these AI systems essentially are becoming doctors. And not only are they becoming doctors, but they're able to be a doctor and to diagnose people at an insane level of accuracy. I'm sure all of us have been to the doctor at some point, and I'm sure all of us have heard about misdiagnosis. It's a big issue. And of course, doctors are very helpful. They've helped and saved a lot of people. They do often sometimes, get things wrong, and they can't scale. Doctors can't scale because it's just a human. So that's the number one industry, guys, that's going to be completely transformed by AI, and that already is being transformed. We just really haven't heard about it. Kimberly said that the third leading cause of death in America is medical error. That is a striking stat here, guys. And this is where AI is going to be good, but it also will be bad. And we'll touch more on that. So just starting off with healthcare. And, we could talk about healthcare just for a long time. But the main point right now is AI is already scanning all of this biometric data and basically diagnosing people on the spot with near pinpoint accuracy. But we don't know about it yet. It's crazy because all this stuff's happening behind the scenes. So the next thing, which I'm sure some of you guys have heard of me and what we're doing with some of our AI stuff with trading and this and that, but finance, leveraging AI to enhance fraud, a massive, almost $1 trillion industry, fraud. automating trading strategies, what we're doing and what we're working on, and hopefully we'll have something available for all of you, and improving risk all around. These AI algorithms can analyze mass amounts of financial data that otherwise takes a human, months to analyze. The AI can do it right away. It can take all as many parameters as you give it and make just a basis right away. So if you know someone who's good at technical analysis or who's done very well with stocks, imagine if they made their brain infinitely, powerful. That's what we're doing here. So finance, we'll talk probably the most about this going forward, not today, but just in general. But it's important to note here. And then transportation. If any of you guys live in California, we already have self-driving cars. We have something called robo-taxis. This is all AI. This is all computer vision, machine learning, and it's basically transforming something that millions of people do every day, drive. Imagine this. We already have, these cars that are just driving people by themselves, guys. It's crazy. It really, really is crazy because there's no going back because we all like convenience. The last 10 years, society as a whole has transitioned into an area of convenience. COVID, what did it blow up? It blew up DoorDash and Uber Eats, convenience. Most people don't like to drive. I love to drive, and many of us do, but most people don't like to drive. So imagine now all the people that have a job of being a taxi or a driver out the door, out the window. And no, I'm not saying I agree with this, guys, but there's no stopping this. And as you see, as I continue to go through all this, there's no stopping this. So the other big thing, which I'm the most passionate about probably, besides the finance, is education. AI will enable a personalized learning experience. There's going to be no more classrooms of 30, 40, 50 people. We're going to have personalized, tailored education programs for every student. And those students are going to be able to basically ask questions in the spot and get near foolproof answers. That alone, I think, is just amazing. And yes, this is happening behind the scenes. It's going to take some time, but there's no stopping it because the biggest thing when I talk about all this is it can scale. We can't have a million professors at once in the same college, but we could have a million computers teaching everything the professor knows, being available for questions 24/7. So there's going to be no more one size fits all education approach. It's going to be very personalized. Entertainment. AI is enhancing gaming experiences with non-player characters. So if you play, Fortnite or whatever, there's always bots in the background, but this is of real stuff. So like realistic graphics, movies, people, when there's crowds in movies, a lot of those people maybe get paid 100, 200 bucks. This now already to this day, and we're going to watch a video here soon, giving the example, it could be done automatically. We could actually make people look the exact same, regular humans. We call them non-playing characters. They're in most movies. That alone is transforming Hollywood, guys. AI, it's taking creating movies is going to be a thing of the past. Truly, I'm not saying we won't have humans in movies, but because of the ease, these entertainment companies are going to be able to make movies in instants all through AI, and we're not going to know the difference. And that's the craziest part. So before we move on here, ethics. It's a big thing. We're talking about all these growth opportunities, talk about all these changes, but we must keep in mind there's going to be some considerations we have to take ethically. Responsible AI development is going to be crucial. Of course, we can't control that, but it's just something to keep in the back of our minds as we see all these new tools come out, as we see governments utilizing it. There's going to be some ethic concerns. So we'll just keep our eyes open for that. Like I said, nothing we could really do to change that or to stop that, but I want to throw it in there just so we, completely realize that. And I'm just touching on a few here, guys. For time purposes, I know it's going to be a lot of information, but just touching on a few. So there's various other areas that AI is going to transform. Agriculture, energy itself, environmental sustainability. It's going to reshape industries, create new jobs, drive growth, but also remove a lot of jobs. And we'll talk about that here just in a minute. So now saying the jobs that are already being replaced by AI, and basically jobs that are replacing them right now, we just don't see it yet. And we're not going to know until it's too late. Number one thing, software developers. This is what these people, they allow the world to go around. Everything relies on technology now. And that is all because of a software developer. We have AI algorithms right now that create entire software programs just like this, right away. Just like this. You just can prompt it, bam, it can make you a 30,000 line code app in 5 minutes. That used to take people maybe even years to do. So super, super important. Web design, custom algorithms, custom integrations. AI is completely taking away the need to write code on your own. So I know a lot of us don't code. We don't care about that. But just know that software developers is the biggest thing that AI is already basically replacing in a way. We're just going to need humans to prompt them and to guide them. Customer service representatives. This is where I need to take a quick step back. And Raheem said he makes him want to watch sci-fi thriller. A lot of the things I'm talking about here, guys, that's why I said to keep an open mind. This is sci-fi. And even if you leave this webinar today still thinking that this is sci-fi, that's completely fine with me. I don't judge anyone's thoughts or, whether they believe in it or not. I just feel the strong need to share this around. Me and Zeller, why we're making Atlantis and why we're growing this community too. People need access to this type of information. So this is sci-fi. And a lot of these things I'm talking about here, we've only seen these in movies. But this movie is now starting to be reality. And it's hard to see now, just like it was hard to see Bitcoin would be anything in 2010. But look now, you always look back and say, wow, it was so easy to see. So that's why I said I want to take just a quick moment of step back here just a little bit, because customer service representatives, this is where we start getting into the hard discussion of people's jobs being replaced overnight. So many people are customer service representatives. And it's sad because a lot of them are overseas people that really rely on their jobs. Right now, I've already used, and we're already using chatbots and virtual assistants that could handle customer calls, that could sound just like a human, and that can provide support with zero error. Zero error. And I'm sure if we've ever had problems with a restaurant or a product we've bought before, sometimes your customer service representative makes a mistake. It's not that big of a deal, but that's why these companies, they're heartless. They don't care to put people out of jobs. They care about making more money, and they care about having less error. And right now, that is exactly what AI can already do as we speak. And it's only time until it wipes out all of customer service. And it's a bold prediction, but I think it's inevitable. The next thing, warehouse workers. This is another sad thing. And why I say sad, because a lot of innocent people that don't see this coming are going to be put out of jobs. Amazon, for example, there's millions of people, I think 300,000 people that work in their warehouses. They already have robots that are doing it with zero error. No more calling and saying, I can't make it to work. Zach says, why is it sad? Why it's sad to me, Zach, is because people don't see this coming. Nobody's warning them. Everybody's making decisions like life's going to continue like it's been the last 15 years. But once we get to the end of this, we're going to all see that it's not. And why I say it's sad is because the government, who controls everything we see, they're not going to warn people of this because they don't care. And I'd love to be proven wrong here, but I think it's pretty obvious that, everything that's happening, it's ignorance, but it's not the people's fault, so I hope that makes sense. Drivers, as I already said, millions of people, they run taxi services. Self-driving vehicles are going to have a lot less air. It's going to be little to no air. And the expense, it's going to be just paying for the vehicles, paying for whether it's electricity or gas. It's already happening as we speak. I think in San Francisco, there's already taxis without people in there. Another big thing, insurance underwriters. We don't hear about this a lot, but a lot of people are underwriters, whether for mortgage, insurance. It's a huge industry. AI algorithms can analyze that data in a split second. They can assess all the risks, and they can make the decision whether to give loans, whether to not give loans. So that's already happening as we speak. Manufacturing workers, like warehouse workers, but these AI-powered robots, they can do assembly line tasks with perfect precision. And why it's inevitable that this is going to take over is because the owners of these businesses, they care about efficiency and money. And when you could have a robot work 24/7, there's, that's what they're going to pick. And that's just the unfortunate truth of corporate America and, corporate world all around. Accountants, not as big of an industry, but AI is already automating all of that. Bookkeeping, data analysis. There's going to be no more need for manual calculation, analysis. AI is going to do it. And the biggest thing here is speed and efficiency. Data entry, no more data entry. This one's more obvious, but a lot of people are data entry, whether that's just entering your sales at the end of the night, making different spreadsheets. AI is already doing it all. Medical diagnostics, legal research, graphic design. These are ones I threw in there because I think that they're super important, but it's already done, analyzing documents, diagnosing different data, blood types, different levels of peptides in your blood. AI can do it right away with precision. And like I said, the biggest thing here, guys, is we don't hear about this. Nobody's talking about this. And I don't think anyone will talk about it until it's too late for, us to maybe make decisions. Because if you're a doctor right now, I will make the prediction that it's only time until that's all taken over the day-to-day by robots. There's still going to be humans involved, of course. We can't have just complete robots, but nurses. It's unfortunate. I'm not saying this is happening tomorrow, guys, but this is where we're going. We're looking far out. We're looking 5-10 years, just like he said in the sci-fi movie. And Chris is absolutely right. That's what we're going to talk about a few slides more. Universal basic income is going to happen as a result of AI. Absolutely, Chris, 100%. So yeah, one thing I want to throw in before we move on here. It's very important to note that AI, as we can see, it's automating all these tasks. It's replacing a lot of jobs, but it's also creating new opportunities. It's not like AI is going to completely take over. Humans are still going to have a big part in different things. So just keep that in mind here. AI and quantum computing. This slide's very short because this is a whole webinar in itself. But I've been doing some research on the combination of quantum computing and connecting AI to that. Quantum computing is not really out yet. Only IBM, Google, and a few big corporations have access to these systems. But essentially, it's able to do calculations that a traditional computer might take a year to 2 in seconds. And when you combine that with artificial intelligence, a brain, it's going to 100% unquestionably, I've heard from some of the actual architects and engineers of these systems, that we will near instantly unlock the secret of aging. And yes, I will stand firm on that. And I've heard other people confirm this. Within 5 years, in my opinion, there will be people on this earth that know the exact secret to aging. Maybe it's Brian Johnson already. Who knows? We'll be able to expand human lifespans as a result and potentially achieve immortality by 2030. That's my prediction. The only way I see this potentially not happening is if governments try to shut it down. We take quantum computing, we take AI, that will allow us to achieve immortality as a human species. I don't know if we'll all do it. I don't know if we'll be vastly available, but it is, in my opinion, years away from happening. And you could feel free to do your own research on this, but everything I've put in here, like I said, has been hundreds of hours of me using AI, researching AI, and making all my, connecting all of it together. So this is a little bit of a repetition, but I'm just going to quickly go through what AI can do right as we speak right now.
Hold on, Dom. Let's just feeling into the energy. Let's let that marinate for 1 second.
Absolutely.
I just want everyone to take a moment to really think about what that means. Like, you literally have the choice. This is something I've been talking about through my spiritual practices. I came to this conclusion a few years ago. And now AI is showing how it's manifesting. But I fully believe that in this human body, we are 100% able to achieve eternal life. And AI, like I already thought that, knew that spiritually, but now it's like the reality. And like literally any ailments that you could get, AI can know exactly before you get it what's happening, know the truth of how to heal things, how to create the new technology to heal things. And especially if AI is working in the quantum field, we all of us in here who are familiar with energy healers, Reiki, things like that, if AI is working in quantum, that means it's also eventually going to learn how to be able to work with energy. So, this is energy healing is huge. And I find that those people who have consistent, they're consistently adding to their energy, they look younger, right? The people who are happier, more free, going into themselves, they always look younger. And so knowing that AI is going to be able to eventually take care of us and heal us energetically, but also right now, literally our physical body, there's already AI that exists and stuff that's not public that I'm sure this is already happening. But I really want to marinate this point of literally think about your life and how your whole life you've grown up to expect what an average human lives to. You've grown up to expect what an average retirement age is. You've grown to expect what an old person looks like, right? When someone reaches a specific age and you call them old until you get that age, then you don't call them old anymore, right? So this all is going to be shattered. And now we have everyone's consciousness that's going to take some time to upgrade, right? But all of this is here now. So quite literally, to repeat, think about that, what that means to you in your life, where you've been making your plans of the next 30, 50, 80 years and then retire. Imagine that you can live to 3, 4, 500, even 800 years. How would you live your life? How would that change how you live right now? So I just wanted to mention that. You can move on.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. And I see Zach is saying, I don't understand. We're not here to live forever. What's the point to dwell in a lower plane? We're not saying it's right, Zach. We're just saying it's happening and it's going to
And
happen.
also, what I want to say is that we collectively are raising to a higher plane. Okay, so a lot of people think they say that the physical world is a lower plane, and I actually believe that. Well, I know that obviously everything is energy. Even physical matter is not actually physical; it's all energy. Okay, and so what we're collectively doing, if we simply raise the frequency of the energy at which it's vibrating of the human body, it can raise itself to higher dimensions. If you look in Tibetan Buddhism, when a Tibetan Buddhist monk, they say when he achieves what's called the rainbow body, he's able to, by choice, physically manifest his body into the physical world and dissolve it into the spiritual world at will, at any moment. So it's looking at things in a different way of being. Okay, the higher dimensions, these are also things that we can experience as a physical body, but when you start to get to higher dimensions, you start to detach from different aspects of who you are. So what I would say is, Zach, this is talking about raising the frequency of the realm that we're in. So this is completely different.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Zeller. And, like I'm saying here, it's not that I want to make it clear, guys, everything I'm talking about here, don't think that I agree with it all. There's certain things like I approach this unbiasedly. It's just putting the pieces together and where we're going. So we could agree that, the whole point of life on Earth is just for an experience, and then to potentially, if you believe in it, to continue to grow to evolve as a soul and become older. And each lifetime you learn more. But this is going to be possible. And it's not 20, 30 years out. This is 5, 10 years. And these are words of people that are working on quantum computers, people that are developing AI algorithms. This is direct words from them. And when you put it all together, it makes sense. So I'm not going to say we agree with it, but it's going to happen. It will be available and people will do it, and it will change life as we know it. So, I hope that all, like I said, it's an open mind concept, a lot of these things, but the genie's out of the bottle and there's no putting it back. So that's what we're talking about this all today. So yeah, like I said, I just want to go over just a few things that AI can do right now. And as we go, I'm sure you guys know the list we have of 140 AI tools. All the tools in there can do something like this and more. But web development. There's AI programs that can make a website in 5 minutes for you, fully done. Image recognition. We'll look at some different some examples on this. Complete email communication, completely automated. Completely automating all social media, posting, DMs, messages, everything. All possible right now. People are already doing it. Customer service. There's chatbots that are completely taking over. Even online AI that's taking over customer service as we know it. All of digital marketing, teaching online, even teaching in person, translating, screening resumes, selling products online, creating music even, editing videos, proofreading, editing stuff, auditing SEO for websites, managing projects, recognizing speech, transcribing it to near 99% accuracy, analyzing different sentiment of industries, automating complete quality assurance for all different products and services, companies offer, cybersecurity monitoring and defense. Why this is important here, guys, because this is always, all of this right here has only been possible through a human. In just the past 2 years, this is now all done to near perfect accuracy through AI. So these are just a few things that AI can do, and I think it's important just to keep in the back of your mind. So we're gonna take a look at this quick, apologies, take a look at this quick video here, guys. This is something called Adobe Firefly. And we will, yeah, it's very, very mind-blowing. And this is just showing one example of a few things I mentioned there. But before we go on to that, Zach asked who owns the AI servers. It's mainly Amazon. Most of these servers are all through AWS, Amazon Web Services. So there's no such thing as AI servers. It's just utilizing already, out there servers that run the entire world. All websites have servers.
Yeah, and I think 6 or 8 months ago, it came out that Elon Musk for X, for Twitter, he purchased a big purchase, something like 3 million different computer chips specifically for AI and for X. So these, different people are creating their own server. So effectively, that's what he's doing. He's creating his own server separate from Amazon or anything else. Each of us right now, for about $5,000, you can build a small system where you can create your own little AI. As it grows, you're obviously going to want to put more into it. But yeah, $5,000 can get you the chips, the computer, and everything. So
yeah, servers are what runs AI. But why I really haven't mentioned that at all here, guys, is because servers have been running the web for 25 years. There's really no difference to run these AI programs. It's still code. It's mainly done through Python. So it's really no difference on the server side. The servers are as, they're as important as just running the web, running Google and Facebook back in 2008. So yeah, we'll just take a quick look here, guys. This just came out. This is just weeks ago. So what we just saw right there is taking a picture and AI perfectly generating, expanding the picture. So say that's the picture you have right now. Say, I wish this was a little bit wider. Look at the accuracy and precision of that. That right now is possible to use right now for all of us through Adobe Firefly. And like I said, this is how it's revolutionizing graphic design, images, photography. And you're going to see some more examples here. Guys, that's all just through giving 3 prompts. You can now make a graphic picture for your website or for your business just in 3 prompts. And why it's amazing is because the accuracy, there's just no way to tell. So be wary. A lot of these pictures you guys might be seeing online now, it might be fake. It might be AI. And
I want to mention this too, that like this is stuff that you can do, like any one of us can do. There's video editing, and I can actually I can upload a picture of myself, and I can upload a YouTube video of my voice to this AI, and it can take the picture, and then it can take the YouTube video recording of my voice, and I can type out what I want it to say, and it will sound just like me. And I can do this for free. So imagine governments and companies who have millions or tens of millions or billions to spend on this to me personally, anytime I see anyone on TV, whether it's news, whether it's a president or a leader of a country, I question it. I know for 100% fact that it could be fake. It could be completely AI generated. So just be aware.
Absolutely. Due diligence is very important with everything I'm saying here now, guys, because now it's very hard to see, did a human do it? Did a human make it? Is this real or is this all AI? We'll continue here. So you may have just watched and say, oh, that's not that cool. And this is just one example, guys. But why this is crazy is because everything that it just took these people, what, 20 seconds to do, that usually took somebody hours to do just 2 years ago, just a year and a half ago. Like, you can now do your work if you're a graphic design guy. If you've been doing this for a while, things that took you maybe even a whole day to draw and do perfectly on Photoshop, you could do it in seconds on this program. And, it's still crazy. It's crazy because it's all about efficiency. And, we're about halfway done through all of this. So, like I said, feel free to continue to ask questions. But as we get towards the end, things get a little bit more juicier and it kind of wraps it all together. But that's why this is important. If you looked at that and said, oh, that's not that cool, why it's important is that up until just a year ago, it took people hours, days to do what you can now do in seconds. And that's the takeaway here. Got one more example here. Oops, got one more example with Canva, and then we'll dive into a few more examples. So if anyone uses Canva, basically you create anything. It's kind of like an easier Photoshop, and they just launched this. I think this video was posted a month ago. So this is all groundbreaking stuff here. And you'll just see some of the things that this can do here. Very, very crazy. Say generate an onboarding plan for, say, one of your customers. Bam, seconds, does it all. Used to take us hours to do that.
I also want to say, you might be getting into this, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but with ChatGPT now they have the plugins and you can add in Canva. You can also add in CapCut, which is a video editing software. And I just told ChatGPT, I'm like, make me a video promoting an AI webinar. ¿Todo bien? Bueno, gracias. I said, make me a video promoting an AI webinar. And it was like a 4 out of, I would give it a 3 or a 4 out of 10, the video quality. But the fact that in literally 3 seconds, I typed that, it asked me, what do you want the script to be? Here's a script. Should I change it? And I said, no, do that script. And it did the whole voice. It chose the pictures and it also cut all the pictures. So it was a bunch of screenshot pictures from Canva. It put it in the video with the voiceover and it literally did it in 5 seconds. So obviously quality is going to get better over time, but yeah, it was amazing. I was like mind blown.
Stuff that took hours to write is now taking seconds to generate all on here. Just generating videos right off the bat. Vibrant jungle city. Your own custom video generated right away. Expanding pictures and basically creating parts of a picture that were never there. So we can see near pinpoint accuracy. This one's cool. Changing the color. Changing clothes. You could do it on people right now, right away. completely manipulating images. No way to know. So yeah, like I said, guys, not like this. I just threw these examples in here just to give a little bit because this can be a 10-hour webinar. We could show you all the tools, but I thought that those two things just for the graphic design part of things is truly remarkable. And this is all just months, this is all brand new stuff. And it's just proves and sets home that AI is doing things that used to take hours, days, and seconds. And that's the big takeaway here. So now we will go through a few examples of ChatGPT 4 vision. So I'll take a quick quick pause here. I just want to show. So towards the end of this, we're going to show you guys a list of tools, and that's going to be kind of the big starting point to dive into all those. But ChatGPT is the source of this all. If you guys have never used ChatGPT before, go test it out. Just go start playing with it. They just came out with the new vision. So now ChatGPT has vision. You could upload images, and I'm going to show you about 10 examples that are completely mind-blowing in my opinion. This one, we upload a picture of a dinner that you have at a restaurant. You say, give me a quick summary of this dish and a simple recipe on how to make it. Looks like quality is really bad here, but you should still be able to see basically well, yes, you uploaded a picture of a piece of food, a dish, a plate. ChatGPT now can tell you exactly what it is, give you a recipe to replicate it. This is all brand new, guys. This is fresh out of the box, maybe released a month ago. Explaining complex diagrams for homework. So you have this big diagram. You could upload just the image, just the PNG. Bam, ChatGPT will break it all down for you, give you a full understanding, full breakdown of all of it. Drawing the code. This one's really cool. Could actually now upload pictures of like a cool website that you like, or not even that. You could draw on a piece of paper, a little sketch of what you want your website to do. It will actually give you code to actually replicate that on your own. And that is what I find very, very interesting here. ChatGPT now has this vision, and this vision is insane. It's a lot better than 2020 vision. You could upload pictures of houses. So people that do interior design, they're going to now start just utilizing this AI intelligence instead of using their own brains. No, I don't agree with it, but there's no stopping it. So you could upload a picture of your house and say, recommend some ideas. ChatGPT will list out exactly what you should put, exactly where you should put it. And yes, guys, this is all available to all of us right now. Transcribe old letters. I saw some people going crazy over this, and I was too, honestly. This is an old letter from, say, 1700. It's actually transcribing that to I think some tests were done, like 98% accuracy. Crazy. Stuff that humans, we can't even read. ChatGPT can read it almost perfectly. Solving math problems. So, I'm sure all of us are out of school, but, if you say you got your math homework, can take one picture of it, say, please do all these math problems. Look, right here, it's blurry again, but ChatGPT, we're listing all of the results right away. Identifying animals, something that's kind of been around, but it's pretty cool now. Take a picture of a snake you don't know, an insect outside, something you see on the side of the road. Say, what is this? Or even a plant, a tree. ChatGPT now with crazy accuracy can identify it to a complete, almost pinpoint. Travel planning. Where's this place in this photo? Take a picture of, a city. ChatGPT can identify it instantly. And yes, we could do this all right now, guys. And then say, based on the image, suggest a 5-day travel itinerary to do there. It will research it all, give you a bunch of different things to do, make you a travel itinerary, all in less than a minute. Analyzing competitors' websites. So if you own a business, and you have a competitor, you could actually take a screenshot of their website and say, please analyze this, identify their strategy, their trends, and tell me how they can improve, aka how can I improve? And you could utilize this to, make the best of your industry and to stand out. And I find this to be really, really cool. face analysis. So now you could actually analyze people's emotions. It's crazy, guys. Take a picture of me right now and say, what is he feeling? What is he thinking? And from all my experience in testing and everybody else's, the accuracy is insane. So once again, just some examples, guys. I threw these ones in here because I thought that they were pretty impressive. I'm sure we're all a little bit impressed here. We could all use this right now. Things that we never have been able to do. And the biggest takeaways here, which we're going to point on just on the last few slides, is the accuracy of it. I think that's a big important thing here is the accuracy of it. Let me see what's going on with this thing. Apologies. Looks like we froze up here. Okay. So as I was saying, we'll dive into it. It's actually the next slide. So why does this all matter? Why are people going to do this? A lot of us are probably asking. Actually, let me just take a quick step back. I apologize if I'm all over the place here, guys. But there's so much information, so much I could say. I want to make use of our time in the best way. But I just saw what Kimberly said. There's literally no excuse to accomplish any of your dreams right now. And I couldn't agree with that more. I call it the playing field has been leveled. There's no more excuse now. There's no more as how many employees can you hire? What are your skills? Guys, that's no more. It's how can you utilize AI? How can you utilize the tools at your disposal to do things that it used to take teams of 10, 20 to do? Anything you want to do now is possible. And if it hasn't clicked on how, if you have questions, if you want actually specific help on your things, feel free to ask. After utilizing all these tools myself, I know how to put them together and how to make them work. But I just want to hit home on that before I continue. Kimberly is so true. So true, exactly what she just said. And I think that that's a very important thing. I want all of us to realize now. There's now no more about what are your skills? How much money do you have to open up a business? How good is your team? It's no longer that. The playing field is leveled. We now all have access to this. We have access to infinite knowledge. It's just how do we put it together and make something amazing? So I'm going to quickly go through this because we're almost at an hour and we still got a few more slides here. But number one, increased efficiency. AI is going to basically power and replace any repetitive tasks. So efficiency out the door. Efficiency we've never been able to accomplish before. You would need millions of people to do. Data-driven insights. So no more guesswork, on business decisions. AI can analyze the data instantly and give you amazing results. And the reason how it knows is because it learns from itself. It knows, it's tested. When these models are developed, they're tested for accuracy. So the insights that it will give you, that they're going to be top tier. Improve customer experience. I'm sorry to say it, but there's been times that I'm frustrated with customer service. I have an issue and it's not getting solved. That's no longer going to be there. The human error is going to be out of the equation now. People are going to get really good, experience with a lot of these businesses because when things are automated and it's written into code and you have a chatbot, you have an AI that's doing exactly what you say always, and there's no error. It's a better experience for a lot of customers. So that is a plus. Availability. There's going to be no more such thing as shifts, guys. All these businesses that are going to use this AI, it's going to be running all the time. And think about that from their perspective. Most people work 8 hours a day. AI can work 3 times more than that, 24 hours a day. Better decision making. So processing all the data, identifying patterns, this can apply to anything. Everything in life is data. AI can now make amazing decisions based on that data and give you proof as to why. Cost savings. Like I said, unfortunately, manual labor, errors, inefficiencies, those are out the door. When you have an AI robot running your excavator and just 2 years ago, someone was running it and crashed it, the chance of that happening now is a lot less. So no, I'm not sitting here agreeing with it. just saying that this is the truth, and we all have to accept it now. So there's no stopping it. Accuracy. Accuracy is amazing with these type of machines. You know, it's not perfect, but each day that goes by it keeps getting better and better and better. And the biggest thing is innovation. Why these businesses are going to use everything I'm talking about now is they want to innovate. You know, they want an advantage over their competition. So that's why the genie's out of the bottle and there's just no stopping it. So like I said, guys, feel free to ask any questions here. Got a few more slides here, but feel free to ask any questions. Diving into a little bit more juicier things before we wrap up, which basically is the stages of AI, where we started and where we're going. So rule-based AI. On this stage, all systems operated on a predefined set of rules, algorithms provided by the programmers. They lack the ability to learn or adapt beyond these rules. We've had this for a while now. This is 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. Stage 2, we're still past this. Systems understand, and they retain context from the previous interaction, aka memory. These systems now have memory, and they're a lot more aware of all of that. We are still past this, though. Domain specific. IBM came out with something called Watson. It was designed just for answering questions on Jeopardy. Google, they created something called AlphaGo, and it just excelled at playing board games. We are also now past that, aka ChatGPT. It can do a million things. It's not just focused on one task. Thinking and reasoning systems. AI systems mimic human thinking and reasoning capability, making complex decisions and engaging in reasoning process. I think that this was last year, guys. I'm pretty sure that this was last year. This is where I think we are right now. I think that most AI we're using now, ChatGPT, it's at stage 5. Stage 5 is AI systems that are learning from their data. They're adapting to those circumstances and they're keep improving their performance, aka they're learning. I think we're almost, there might be a few systems that are at stage 6, which is monitoring your own performance, identifying where I went wrong, just like a human. You know, where am I limited? Where can I get better? And making all their own decisions on how to improve. We're almost there. And then the Holy Grail, which if you research anything about AI, people talk about AGI, artificial general intelligence. We're not here yet, but very soon we will be. And this basically is the exact thing a human brain can do. It has human-like intelligence, insane creativity, and problem solving across any domain. This is where basically with just code and a server, you are recreating brains. You know, just now we only had 7 billion brains in the planet. Very soon we're going to have probably 50 billion. And yeah, it's crazy to think about, but these are infinitely scalable. These AI systems are infinitely scalable. So now I think if anything, this is probably the most important slide on all of this, you know, for the takeaway here. And just know, guys, if you came here for like exact ways on how to make money right now, this is the preface to all this. Being a part of our community, we're going to continue to expand on all this. So don't think that this is it. We're just giving our introduction. You know, this is really to break it all down, to spur a lot of thoughts that I hope a lot of us had those thoughts get spurred tonight, thoughts we really didn't think yet. And maybe the stuff has not been presented in this way. At least I hope. But if anything, I think we should all really focus on this slide right here. AI, what it's going to do to human consciousness is, to say the least, remarkable. What happens when it replaces all these employees? Truly, what happens when it replaces all these employees? What are all these humans going to fill their time with, guys? And yeah, we're talking about even us. You know, when AI, even if right now it could do all those things, the scale and the rate, which I'm going to show a graph in like another slide or two, the scale and the rate it's off. It was like Bitcoin last week. That's what AI is doing right now. So what happens? What are humans going to do? You know, how many of us, is our whole life revolved around work? It's working, you know, 5 days a week. You know, everything in life's about making money and working, being able to survive and live. And this is where what Chris said just hits home. There's going to be a universal basic income. When AI replaces all of these jobs, it's not going to replace everything. Don't get me wrong. It's opening up new jobs, but it's also going to replace a vast amount of jobs. There's going to be universal basic income because what are humans, what skills, things that they can do now? Once again, not judging, not saying anything bad about anyone, but when AI can do everything for a fraction of the cost, what are humans going to do? People work 40, 50 years of their life. Our entire system operates around getting a job, getting a salary, working, retiring, and dying. Guys, this system is getting shattered in front of our eyes right now. This is getting shattered in front of our eyes, and I can't say it more strongly. What's going to happen when that crumbles? And yes, it will crumble. What's going to happen to that? Life as we know it for most people is work. It's work. Go to work, go to work, go to work. That's what most people do. Most people, at least in US, Europe, Canada, even Mexico, most places, they work. Everybody's working. So of course, this is going to first start in first world countries, but I think it's even the most boring. When 200 million Americans are getting replaced by AI, what are they going to do? How are they going to make money? This is all being possible right now, and this is within years, guys. Really, really is within years. So that's why I said to keep an open mind. I hope this just spurs thoughts on your own decisions in life. So yeah, simply having AI advancements, we're going to go through 6 points on how this is going to change human consciousness as we know it. As AI continues to advance, it's potentially triggering a global awakening of human consciousness. I don't even think it's a potential thing. It's happening very soon. This massive shift will redefine our entire perspective and perception on what is intelligence, what is being smart, what does that even mean? It's going to get shattered in front of our eyes. And what happens when you don't have work to go through all the time? It's going to make us all look inward, guys. We're going to have more self-discovery. We're going to have more growth. Just like Kimberly said, love, empathy, interconnectedness. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to turn to humans. We're going to turn to our family more. When you break out of that system, when you break out of your day-to-day, every day is the same mentality for so many of us, what happens? You look inward, you grow. So this is where AI, I think, guys, it's going to awaken human consciousness to a level we've never seen before. The Great Awakening is upon us. AI's ability to understand and process these insane amounts of data opens up just insane possibilities for us. Because when you uncover these insights that humans couldn't even make, it's going to expand our consciousness and challenge all of our beliefs now and paradigms. And when you say that, it's what happens when AI teaches us how the earth was created? What happens when AI teaches us how, crystals were formed? Things that science still can't prove. How big the universe is. How many stars are out there? Is there more? Is there actual human life elsewhere? AI is going to do this because it can process data at a point we've never been able to do in human history. Empathy and interconnectedness. This awakening will absolutely lead to greater sense of empathy. So humans actually starting to care about each other again and being connected as a community. That's why we all love the Atlantis community. We're all connected. We're pioneering this. We're all here for each other. But we need more of this in this world, guys. This world's turned dark. I'm sure we all see it. Wars everywhere. Everyone wants to control us. Everyone wants to inject us with vaccines. It's all about trying to control. It's going to change it all. It's going to have insane diverse perspectives and going to be able to basically bridge barriers. I think AI will solve people hating other people. And I know that's a crazy, crazy prediction. This is not 5, 10, maybe 20, 30. It's going to change humans so much in consciousness. I think we will actually get led towards somewhat of peace, more connectedness. Because when you're not going to work every day, what are you going to do? probably going to go out in nature, explore, and evolve yourself, as we all should be. Furthermore, AI's potential to automate all the mundane tasks and free up human cognitive capacity can empower individuals to pursue higher levels of self-discovery and expression. Just exactly what I'm saying. When our minds, usually it's going to work every day answering the phone, or it's going to work every day typing and doing data entry. You know, going to work, what any of you guys do, if you guys have an actual job, you know, no problem with it. But what happens when your mind is no longer on that? You know, you're going to free up so much of your mind. And once that happens on a global scale, we're all going to pursue more self-discovery. We're going to have to find stuff inside of us because we're not going to be distracted anymore. And yeah, I think that really sums it up here. We did kind of talk about the ethical considerations, you know, privacy, having different biases within these systems. You know, it's like if we have an education bot, if we have an education AI, we got to make sure that the people that are programming these, you know, or at least they're not setting strict rules, you know, because if one person injects all of these, you know, new systems with only their thoughts or a few group of people's thoughts, that's going to be dangerous because everyone's going to now take that as truth. So discernment and being able to decipher truth from, you know, fallacy, it's going to be very important going forward. So talk about a few business opportunities. These are bigger business opportunities, and we will basically dive into a few smaller opportunities, and then we just have a few more slides and we'll wrap up. So the bigger opportunities I see right now, like right now, I think if you want to pursue any of these opportunities, your chance of success is massive. Creating a personalized learning platform, using AI to adapt to the student, customizing the content. University as we know it will not be a thing. It's going to be a complete game changer here. AI-powered chatbots. Right now, if you get into this business, this is exploding as we speak, guys. Companies are looking for personalized chatbots that basically learn everything about their business and can answer any question instantly on the fly. Detecting fraud, you know, building these systems, analyzing the data. Fraud's a huge thing. It's a great opportunity to get into on a larger scale. Optimizing supply chain. We saw what happened in COVID when the supply chain was not optimized. Bad things happen. Cybersecurity, helping businesses detect and prevent all of these cyber threats. Huge business opportunity right now as we speak, guys. Predictive maintenance. This is even for cars, you know, even for humans. Predicting equipment failure, optimizing schedules for, you know, maintenance on different systems, multi-million-dollar softwares, multi-million-dollar mechanics that often break. It's a huge opportunity that's happening now. To content creation and curation, leveraging natural language. When we say natural language, it's just what I'm speaking here, just natural language. Huge opportunity to automate content creation, curation, it's all happening as we speak. Improving images, improving search and recommendation systems. So like Google, improving that, you know, improving the answers people get when they're seeking something. Huge opportunity. These are more large scale opportunities, just like I said. But this is, you know, important to have that on there. So now talk about two routes to take. So now if you're looking at all this and you're like, I want to get into AI, I want to learn more about it. Like I said, we're going to talk about this more as we go forward, but there's two sides and I'll make them very clear. One, it's understanding the technical side. So the coding, understanding how to actually develop these models, which now it's not that hard, guys. When ChatGPT is your assistant, it can help you do anything. And utilizing all the tools we talk about here. That's one business opportunity. That will set you up for longer term success. If you actually want to dive deep and understand how these systems are built and start building models on your own, which is what we're doing for the crypto markets, that is going to be where you fully understand and really be a pioneer in the space. But if you don't want to do that, that's no problem. The second route here, using AI to generate more shorter term financial gains. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. These are more shorter term financial gains. So if you're curious, guys, right now, I could have just used this hour just to create a whole ebook with ChatGPT. Whole ebook. Could have sold that, you know, could go off and sell an ebook. You could curate the data, you know, you're still prompting it to get the right data and putting it all together. Marketing services. Right now, you could start a business, You could utilize all these tools that I'm about to show you, this list that we have. And if you don't know where it's at, it's in the artificial intelligence channel. You could offer marketing services, charge clients each, X amount per month, utilize all these softwares in the back end. Online courses, you could use AI to develop videos right now. You could basically, just like what Zeller was saying, I could take a picture of myself and record my voice for only, say, a minute. And then I could type whatever I want and get any videos made of my avatar with my voice teaching people on courses. You guys can all do this right now. Art prints. You could use Midjourney, if a lot of you guys have seen Midjourney, DALL-E 3. You could use that to create amazing art and, just sell it for a few dollars online. People absolutely still purchase that and pay for it, or actually printing it out, having a store, selling, using drop shipping companies. You could utilize all this right now. A year ago, we couldn't do this. It took, a designer. It took all these other things that, now it's just like what she said. It's, there's no more excuse. We all can become successful now in every way. All you need is internet. All you need is internet and some guidance that I'm trying to give today on how to, go down this space and see all these opportunities. Web development. You could use AI right now to create websites from scratch. Web development's a huge thing. A lot of people pay $5,000, $10,000 for a website. They still do, because this is why this is important here. We're at this point here. If you're on this webinar, we're at the point in this industry where all the tools are here, but nobody knows how to use them yet. So it's the perfect time for opportunity, guys. You guys learn these tools. It only takes you a month or two, and you start offering services to people, and they gladly pay for it. You could do things that it would used to take you having a 5-10 person team. You could do it all now, right now, because it's going to take time for everyone to learn these tools. So just know, seize the moment. We're going to talk about that on our last slide. Music production. AI can make us music right now. Right now, we can make insane music. Not saying I agree with it, but you could start experimenting with that. Even get popular with an AI artist. There's AI artists starting to pop up. All of their music's AI generated. They're making money. They're providing good content and value for other people. Other thing, web templates. You could use ChatGPT right now to create you an amazing, say, 500 code line of a template. You could sell that template for 10, 20, 30 bucks. People buy those. There's websites where you could actually sell website templates. Email templates. I actually just purchased one a few weeks ago. Huge market for those. AI can make you it right away. Consulting packages. Basically can create insane consulting packages for people in any industry. So if you have, any industry that wants consulting, any businesses, you could go to businesses even in your own city and use AI to consult, ask what all their problems are, generate it and put it in AI, analyze the results. It's huge opportunities. So if you're looking now, the exact, steps. Number one, it's identifying the opportunities, which we already just did today. Opportunities are huge. Number two, it's acquiring the knowledge, which doesn't take long to do. Number three, it's building a network, connecting with different AI experts. Twitter's a great place to learn and to follow other people, finding different clients for it. Number four, showcase your own expertise with it. Number five, offer the services and the education behind it. So everything we just did right here, all of you guys have all the tools right now to do it all. And it's a great opportunity. And the reason why, or before I go on to that, the reason why is because the time in this industry we're at, which I'll just dive real quick to it right here. We're in a time in the industry where, like I said, it's still new. You still have amazing opportunity, but people have not fully caught on yet. So that's why this opportunity right now is massive, absolutely massive. So here is the list of 140 AI tools. If you guys actually take the time to take a look at all these tools and to test them out, I promise you they will blow your mind. I've been utilizing a lot of these for many different reasons, many different use cases for now, 2-3 years. Sorry, not 2-3 years, a year, almost a year and a half now, right when ChatGPT came out, Q3 of last year, I believe. So yeah, if you don't have these, feel free to ask. This right here, you got the links and all of this, just this right here, hundreds of business opportunities right now that you could start utilizing to make your own workflow better Even if you have a job, things in here can help you. It can help you expand, help you do work a lot better. So just keep that in mind here. So just one more slide left. And I know I've been rambling off, like I said, all recorded. So if you missed some part of it, some of it went over your head, I completely understand. Don't feel bad. I don't want to waste any more time. But there's just so much information. We could sit here and talk about this for hours here, guys. But this is why we made this, is that there's a moment here, just like the moment when I got involved in crypto in 2016 and I saw the vision of where it was going. That's where we're at right now in AI. That is 100%. Anyone who asks me that's under 20 what they should do, research and learn AI. Research and learn AI. And I know they might not be passionate about it, but that's the thing. Any passion you have, you could intertwine with AI. So anything you want to do, whether you're a construction worker, whether you're an artist, whether you're, a journalist, anything, really anything, you could learn how to utilize AI to improve that industry, to improve that space. So anyone under 20, I mean, even, any age, it doesn't matter the age. I'm just saying, people that are like trying to figure out what they should do with life right now, people are like, they're getting a degree in accounting, they're getting, they're spending all this money on degrees. Guys, degrees are going to be worthless in 10 years. And I know that's a bold claim, but degrees will be worthless in 10 years. I hate to say it. I really, really hate to say it.
They already are in a lot of industries, to be real. Just because of chat, like I have some cousins and some friends that are, and siblings of friends who are in high school still, and some in college, and all their essays are run by they do them all, have ChatGPT write everything. So it's really at this point like, yeah, the only thing that I would personally want to see a degree in if I was hiring someone maybe is like engineering or something in the medical field. And then the medical field, I question what's taught, so.
That's exactly right. That is 100% exactly right. People go to, like I said, I don't say I agree with it, but people go to school for 8 years to be a doctor. Guys, there's AI systems that could do that instantly, and they're instantly scalable. It's not like we only have one and it takes a while to get another one. No, you could literally double them right away. So just to wrap up here, like I said, I know it's been long. Apologize if I lost you in a lot of this. But
sounds like you're cuffing too.
If we go back to 2012 and you knew Bitcoin and you heard about Bitcoin, nobody cared. Nobody was interested in it. And that's where I feel like a lot of people are in AI right now. But being in both of these industries, the parallels are insane. Parallels are absolutely insane. So I think that this right now is, right where we're at with AI. We're at that exact moment with AI as Bitcoin in 2012, and you guys are listening to it live. Best time to dive in and harness its power, not only to drive insane profits, but to actually make a profound impact on people's lives. This is not just about money. It's actually about helping humanity. It really is, because I think in the end, yeah, people will lose jobs. Yeah, it's going to be dangerous. Yeah, it's going to be scary. It's going to be ugly. But in the end, I really believe if we go back to that slide here, I think the most important thing here, guys, is AI is going to help humans awaken. AI is going to force humans to raise their consciousness. And I don't think it's going to be a choice anymore, because when they don't have a job, when they don't have anything to become distracted with all the time, they're going to put that brain power into where it used to be put, like the Egyptians, like the Native Americans. The amazing things that we still don't know how they did to this day. It's because they weren't distracted. They used all their brain power and all of their, their life force energy for growth, for good. So by embracing AI now, I fully believe, along with many of us, you have an amazing chance to be a pioneer trailblazer in an industry that will change the world in every single way as we know it. And I'm sure it's pretty obvious now. You guys are seeing this is changing everything. This isn't just creating images or a chatbot. This is changing everything. Unleash your creativity and innovation by using all the tools I just talked about. And if you don't have that list, feel free to ask for it. Could drive insane profits by identifying all these business opportunities and basically doing all the processes that used to be human done that you needed a team of 10, 20 to do. You can now do that all with AI. And you can empower others just like we're doing tonight by sharing your knowledge and helping them navigate the space. So space is not going anywhere. And I really think this is the time to dive in, in whatever way, even if you say, AI is technology, AI is everything now. AI is going to be everything. So whatever you do in your life and whatever you're interested in, guys, AI in some way is going to change that. So be the pioneer, research all these tools, stay up to date and put those pieces together. You absolutely have an amazing chance to be a pioneer in whatever industry it is. So I say, don't let this opportunity pass you by. Honestly, I think the opportunity here is massively ripe. And yes, over the next few weeks, we'll give more action steps, actual step-by-step guides on how to do different businesses. But just know, feel free to let your mind take you wherever, guys. Do what you wish with this info. I could sit here and tell you to do this business, this. I think the main point here is just to realize that AI is changing everything. And every decision you now make regarding your career or your life that has to do with money and income, keep AI in the back of your mind. Because if you don't, I think a lot of us will be left behind. And I think a lot of us will get caught blindsided. So one more slide here. Basically kind of what I just said. Stay informed. Do what you can just to stay informed, to keep up to date with it. Ask questions. We're here, guys. I've spent almost 1,000 hours using AI just this year. So I really have had my own personal experience. I use it every day, probably at least an hour in some way. And it's transformed what I could do. Someone told me a year ago, Dom, you'd be doing this, this, and this, and that. I would have laughed at them. And sure enough, here I am doing it. And it's possible because of that GBT.
The Atlantis site and just know like 90, 98, 9, like honestly, Dom has done all of it. How much of the site though do you think is coded and the custom code that you had to do? How much of that was from AI?
Yeah, I'll put it to you guys this way. Our site, to get it done by someone, say a year ago, would have been a lot of money.
Like 25 G's.
Yeah, like exactly, like an insane amount of money. With AI, I've been able to do things that have not even saved. It was money that, is wouldn't have been spent on those things. I now was able to do myself in hours that I used to have to hire. And people to this day are still hiring developers to do these tasks. That if you just have a little inclination of technology and you know how to use your tools, it's no longer about what you know. It's about how to use your tools. These AI things, these AI systems, they've allowed me to do things that would have costed otherwise $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of custom development. And that's just one example, guys. Just one example. So assess how you or your business can benefit from AI, kind of like what I was saying. Identify areas where AI can be implemented in whatever way, and you can improve efficiency, improve productivity, improve customer experience. If you work with clients, improve their experience. You can invest in these tools. You can teach others how to use these tools. You can collaborate with other experts in the field, learn from their experience and insights. There's plenty of YouTubers out now that are starting to talk about this. And you can continually evaluate and adapt your strategies. It's really the two main things. I think it's the two most important things. And like I just said, just to hit it home one more time, and this is the end of the presentation here, this industry is growing rapidly, but being in the crypto industry, I 99% believe we are in 2012, 2014 in the crypto industry compared to the AI industry. So we are not late. You guys are pioneers if you're even listening to this. And if you take action now, I think your chances of success are insanely high, absolutely insanely high. And, I think the most important thing here is ensure you stay relevant. And I know I hate to say that, but skill set has been what continued to keep us relevant, to get jobs, to get those large jobs at Google, this and that. And if you own a business or if it's just you, continue to stay relevant with all this in mind. All this is recorded. Like I said, this is not the end. All of us are part of the Atlantis community. Just know we're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to share resources. But, I really hope that this sparked a lot tonight. And it's been an hour and a half, and I know I've rambled and said a bunch of things and just talked a lot, but I just have a passion behind this, just like I do with crypto. And when I see something, it has to do with the pineal gland too, being able, having the sixth sense of seeing and putting the things together. Guys, this AI is changing everything. And why I said it was sad in the beginning is because nobody is really talking about it. Nobody, and nobody's going to talk about it until it's too late. So I'm so happy that, whether 17, 18, however many people were on tonight and will watch this recording, hopefully you guys can make decisions with this in the back of your mind, and you can look back in year 2 and 3 and say, wow, was I ahead of the game? Because there's no stopping it now, guys. There's no stopping it. And just 5 months ago, me being a technical analyst and looking at charts for 7, 8 years and loving what I do, I kind of resisted it. I resisted it just a little bit. It was like that, that initial feeling to resist this, like, I don't want to accept it. And then something clicked in me the last 7 months as I started utilizing these, and I'm full on board. I'm now spending 3-4 hours developing AI systems and a day developing and researching and learning AI systems, how to integrate it for the community, how to integrate it for trading. So yeah, Zeller, love for you to add some things, and feel free to ask some more questions, guys. But like I said, I just felt a need to really, me and Zeller, and the community in general, to really lay this all out as a preface to, us giving actually very strict action steps if you want to really dive into this. But without that, even just having this spark insane, thoughts that you guys, I at least I hope you at least leave this meeting with thoughts that you didn't have, prior to it, things you never thought prior to it. I would really hope for that. And Zeller, if you have any other question or anything else to add, I would
Thanks so
love.
much for everything you shared. So the main thoughts that I have, I'm going to bring up just a couple questions that I was waiting to actually chat on. Let me go back. So Zach asked earlier, about, let me see the exact message. He said, I get how all this is exciting, but I don't see all this power flowing to the people, rather going to be used to exploit them. Okay, so I think this is so important. So yes, there are people out there, of course, that are going to use these things to exploit others. But there's also people like us who our intentions are really here to see you see the highest in your life, and whatever that means. And it's going to be beneficial for all of us if you're doing that. If you're doing well, mentally, financially, spiritually, all of it. Okay. So knowing that there are people and there are systems out there that are going to use these technologies to try to control others. There's also, once again, equally amount and just as many, if not more, people who are utilizing this for good, right? So let's just remember that and just think about how in your life can you utilize this to make your own life better, and then make others' lives better around you, always putting yourself first, because you can't give something you don't have. And then I want to say, very importantly, this is an important note. We mentioned earlier about universal basic income and things like that. Between AI and other things, there is going to, of course, be a universal basic income presented by governments, maybe all governments separately, or maybe there's an event that triggers many governments to come together, okay, and be one and implement it that way. This is going to happen. We don't know how the details, but it will happen. I imagine 3 to 7 years that this universal basic income is announced. And I do believe that this is going to happen probably between 3 and 7, because all the markets are going to run up. We got to realize that with this universal basic income, the old financial system is going to have to die. Okay. And it's going to be, is it going to die slowly? Is it going to die quickly? That's something that we don't really know. Okay. We're not the ones making these plans. So we individuals, what we have to do is prepare for the outcome and to take care of ourselves in the highest. Okay. And number one, I'll tell you, like, as much as I've always been a lone wolf my whole life, I've grown up this way. I've been on my own since I was like 14, 15 years old. And I have cherished that. And it's awesome to say, wow, I did this, I made this life on my own. in the reality, I would have accomplished so much more if I had a solid team, or a community around me to support me, period. So I'm utilizing this knowledge now in my life. And with Atlantis, of course, this is a powerful way, just sharing this knowledge, us connecting, sharing trading, sharing business ideas. Yes, we 1,000,000% we can support each other in this way. But the longer term, right, when we're looking at all the things that are going to be affected by AI, we get to take care of ourselves. We get to prepare to not be stuck and not be in a situation in our life where we have no choice but to accept the universal basic income. Because what that looks like is with quantum financial system, with the universal basic income, it's the only way they're going to be able to do it. And a quantum financial system means that they have access to every piece of data, every penny you spend. They know the location, the time, where it went. They're going to be able to connect with companies to see, buying patterns a lot easier. But also they can do things like if you're getting support from the government, they can limit you. Well, hey, if you leave your state, you can't spend this money. They can turn your money off, literally. If you leave, oh, hey, there's a lockdown, COVID. If you leave this area, we're shutting your money down. You won't be able to do that. So we have to, we are going to, whether you're part of it or not, we're doing this anyway. We have to come together and build a community, a system, an actual more than just this educational online community. We need living spaces. We need creative spaces. We need spaces where we all can go and support and know that we're good. Places where no matter what happens in the world, if we run out of money, we run out of time, we have a safe space to go, or 10 of them around the world that are all part of Atlantis that we all get to have full access to, whether they want to stay there 3 months or 5 years. That you have access, and it's all off grid. The food, everything's good. There's a sauna, there's a recording studio, everything necessary to do and to be who you want to be. So this is going to be something that will happen. There's going to be, Atlantis isn't the only one. And ideally, Atlantis will assist to connect all other communities that are doing the same thing. But it is imperative that you right now start making more money, okay? Of course, to have a better life for yourself, but that we can come together and bring this money to create this. We have to do this like now. Like this is happening right now. With crypto and everything, we have probably 2 to 3 years to make as much money as possible with this old system. And there is going to be something that will change very fast after that. Okay. We don't know once again what it looked like. And it might look very difficult for most people. So we have the next 2 to 3 years to bring as much money as we can individually and as a community to start to fund these spaces. So think of all the things that you need to survive, food, a living space, right? And things. We need to create that within Atlantis. I believe that the safest places that we do this are here in Central America. It's very free here. Places like here in Mexico or El Salvador or others. There are already also communities being built that we can tap into, that we can just simply come to them and say, hey, we have, we've put together $1 million of funding. We want to buy half of your community and make it an Atlantis community. And, we can do things like this so that it's already developed, but we have to do this now. So these tools, these AI tools are, of course, to help you to start to ideally to make more money, trading, investing. We're going to keep going with that, of course, but it's important that you have these other sources. And so even if you decided, right now what you could do, you could literally take this training, watch it 3 times, go through all the AI tools, study all of them, and then you can start marketing yourself as an AI consultant, and you can teach people how to start to implement AI into their business. And you can just, with that list of tools, and you can be the professional to show them, here's what it is, here's how it is. We don't care. Matter of fact, I hope that tomorrow you do this, because if that means that you're making more money, and then you, like for us, the benefit is that you come back later on when you're stacked up, and we come together as soon as we have the software ready, as soon as we're ready to start taking funds, we're going to see it's in flow. I'm hoping a year or less, to where it's all transparent, where it's all decentralized, where we can all see where every dime is going. Then we're going to be ready for that. So right now it's time for you to start building that up so that we can all do this together. But I think it's so imperative. And yeah, otherwise, like just utilizing these tools right now, you can start to just, once again, this webinar, you can start to position yourself as someone who knows more. You already, if you watch this whole thing, more than 95% of the world about AI right now. Okay. So
99.9.
Okay, boom, it's even better. So you right now can already position yourself as that. And yeah, consultant. If you're going to consult people on things, don't charge less than $150 an hour, and say, hey, we need at least 4 sessions. So there you go. There's a $500 paycheck, or 600. So I'm telling you to utilize this, invest your money wisely, watch what we're doing. Utilize all the tools that we release as we release different AI indicators and things. Focus on stacking up. Right now, what I would say, if this was me and this is what I'm doing, live low expenses. Okay. Stack every dime. Okay. Save up and like literally every single dime you can, even if it's in USD for the next, year, that's okay. Put some in crypto, right? And then let's start to make this happen so that we can all feel comfortable and safe and secure. Because I'll be real, I do not trust governments. I do not trust banks with my security, with my freedom, with my well-being. I just don't. So, and I won't. So
Yeah, it's
anyway,
amazing. Yeah, 100% Zeller. So glad you hit home on that. Like just the tools alone, guys, and just this webinar. You guys already know 90 more than 99% of people. You could just alone just start teaching people about this. And just like he said, tomorrow, learn more about this. That list that we have in our AI channel, promise you, if you guys take the time to look at all those and learn those, there is hundreds of businesses you can make just off of that. Just off of that. So it's absolutely amazing. And, I think that Zeller really hit it home there that, now's the time. Now's the time when you have this knowledge. And if you watched all this and you're still skeptical, it's completely fine, guys. Not here to convince everyone. It's just to put it out there. But what I will say is I compare this to when Bitcoin was at 70K back in 2021. Was anyone telling you to sell? No. Everybody was telling you to buy. What about when Bitcoin was at 16K? Was anyone telling you to buy? No, everyone was calling for 10K. That's exactly what AI is right now. People are not going to, it's not going to click until it happens. Just like it didn't click, Bitcoin was in a bear market until it hit 16K. And that's just the truth of psychology. So if you watched all this and you're still skeptical, that's fine. But just know, most people didn't believe in Bitcoin 10 years ago. Most people thought computers were not going to make it in 1995. It happens with every new industry. So just know that this is the time. And I hope that list alone and all the more materials we give you guys in videos over the next month, however long, you guys can just take it and run, take it and run and just feel free to do whatever with it.
Thank you guys so much. Super grateful to be here with you. And just curious if you guys feel called to touch on SingularityNet and AGIX or any other crypto AI tokens that you feel called to run with for alt season.
Yeah, so SingularityNet, I have done a little bit of research into that, and I still have my feelers out on it. Not fully convinced in it, but absolutely, Raheem, crypto AI cryptos, they're going to be huge. So I got my eyes out. I'm watching anything that pops up. It's going to be huge investment opportunities there alone.
For alt season.
Yeah.
Let's keep a running list, like so we can keep our tabs on it. And
absolutely
then hold each other accountable as we do like different research. We can kind of overlap in a focus group.
That'd be awesome.
The crypto chat, the crypto in the Discord, we have the crypto chats there. So we're gonna obviously Dom's gonna post different things that he sees, and then if we can just stay up to date there, and then maybe just as a note for Dom and I, we can make like a quick list of coins that we're looking
on. Yeah, but they're still just so new, so I'm not like fully understood on all of them yet, but I know SingularityNet absolutely will grab a bag of that. That was one of the biggest, and I think the one that has the most traction right now. So more researches need to be done there, Raheem, but absolutely eyes peeled on that as well.
Do you know if there's any token representing ChatGPT right now on the blockchain?
It's
like
yeah. There's people have came out with on-chain tokens, trading on Ethereum, but nothing that I think is more than just a pump and dump.
I think we're really going to see like the evolution of token metrics in the sense of like how token structures for different blockchain projects emerge, and I think that it's going to be revolutionized with AI in terms of like the mechanics around tokenization. So I think like a more niche focus for alt season, not just on profitability, but like even engineering like tokenomics around how to create the infrastructure of this community. It's really important that we look at how that landscape exists currently, and then the kind of direction with quantum computing, and then the existing tokenomics, how that can be expedited with AI. And I think that's going to be a really interesting overlap.
Yeah,
100%,
beautiful.
Raheem. Yeah, no, 100%. Just one quick thing to add about crypto and AI. There was actually a hack that happened a month ago, guys. It was on an on-chain smart contract. Somebody plugged in the source code to ChatGPT. It found the vulnerability instantly. So that's another thing that's insane is connecting to AI with cybersecurity, connecting with all these hacks that happen. I'm sure there's going to be projects and tokens that come out like that. So love that you said that, Raheem. Definitely will put energy and focus towards that. If anyone comes across anything, feel free to send it in. Let's start making a nice list of, the projects we should be looking at in that sector.
I've got a friend with a cybersecurity company who's worked with Filecoin and like some other major projects, and I think they manage about 4 billion in assets. And I had a call with the guy recently in the past month. So I'll send you I'll send you guys that link and you can have a look at it. And then another great software for just outside of I know we're like overlapping into crypto, but token metrics is really great to kind of see the new emerging coins. And I have access to that software, so I'm happy to make a partnership for you guys, like an alliance for Atlantis and token metrics. And then same with this cybersecurity company. So we have some like good alliances as we build in these realms.
Yes.
I love that. Absolutely, Raheem. We'd love to talk more about that. 100%.
I want to mention really quick, Zach asked a safe place to keep his money outside of the instead of banks. To me, I think like if you live in the US or you live in a place like I even here in Mexico, I need my card to buy my groceries and stuff, so keep enough there. But I personally think like for security to protect your money, the best place is going to be crypto, but make sure you're self-custodying. Dom in the courses talks about that. So, just make sure you're going to the crypto courses to understand it fully.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, and feel free to ask any questions about that as well. I truly think Bitcoin is probably the soundest money on earth.
Yeah, Bitcoin literally, and it's factual. Bitcoin's hash rate is larger than anything else in existence, any government system, anything. And Bitcoin's the most decentralized. There's Bitcoin satellites that are independent. So if the internet went down, Bitcoin is still running. So yeah, I do agree with. I think Bitcoin is the safest place. You just have to look and realize that if you're valuing your money in US dollars, it's going to move up and down. But if you value your money in Bitcoin, it's not going to move up and down, right? And mathematically, with all the ETFs and everything coming with Bitcoin, like a $1 to $4 million Bitcoin is not crazy. Maybe not in the next few years, maybe in 10, 15, but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's not
crazy at all. Yeah, no, 100%. And Zach asks, is it swinging too much in price for safety? This is what I'll say about that, Zach. These ETFs that hopefully are going to be approved very, very soon, it's going to bring stability to the market. And the reason why is because we're going to call it 401k money is going to enter this market. That money enters and it's parked. It doesn't move. It doesn't move. It doesn't go in and out like crypto traders now. So as Bitcoin's price goes up, it becomes more stable. So I agree. You got to have a feel for volatility right now, but the stability aspect is going to continue to get larger and larger. And one last question you guys asked, are there any AI stocks? Absolutely. The biggest one right now is NVIDIA. And the reason why is because without what NVIDIA is producing, their GPUs, the chips that are powering all of this, it would not be possible. So even though NVIDIA's already exploded, I fully believe it's going to continue to explode. And there's no stopping that. So, NVIDIA, you could wait for a better buying opportunity because it did go up a lot, but NVIDIA will continue to explode. And on top of that, Amazon Web Services is going to power all of the servers for this. So maybe it's not a direct reflection in the stock right now, but over time, absolutely. And the problem with investing in AI stocks right now, guys, is these companies are so new that they're still private. They haven't went public on the stock exchange yet. So when that does happen, we'll hopefully, we'll let everyone know. But that's kind of the problem. You can't really invest into AI right now. The best way to invest into AI is to learn it yourself and offer services.
Amen. I personally have to head out for another call, but I appreciate everyone being here and all the questions. It's great
Absolutely.
call. Yeah, if anything whatsoever, just Discord, ask any question. Got to repeat, there's never a dumb question, no matter what you ask. I don't care. I don't care if you ask, hey, what exactly is Forex? I don't care. There's no dumb question. All right. Seriously, ask. So
Absolutely.
I love you all. And if you have any ideas or any connections on the, the greater vision of us building this communities together, building this new, we can call it an economy, but this new system that we can all rely on, live on, be part of, please reach out. The next step for us is the software to build to where we can all see the money is completely transparent. It's going to cost a good amount of money to hire security and to hire a bunch of people to create this the right way. So that's the next step, is funding that. We don't feel the best about bringing in an investor for that, because then investors are like, hey, you got to do it this way. So if there's an angel investor that that would want to donate the money just to see this happen, great. Or otherwise, we're just going to continue to build how we are, and we will fund it together. So
absolutely. But yeah, thanks again, guys, everybody that joined. Like I said, this is not just the end. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of us educating and making a whole section of AI within Atlantis. So feel free to ask questions. Keep your eyes out for more advancements. We'll start posting more things, more videos I'll probably make. But yeah, any other questions, feel free. I'll stick around for a few minutes. Stellar's got to hop off, but
yeah, I was trying to, wasn't it Zoom we were doing this where it made like the hearts, or was that was Signal actually?
Yeah.
Not here on Zoom guys, yet. If you do just dumb fact, if you are FaceTiming someone and you do a heart like this while you're on FaceTime, it'll like do emoji hearts. And if you do this, it'll do like balloons. That's what I was just trying to do. So anyway, okay. Love you all. I'll see you soon. Peace out. Peace in.
Peace, brother. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining once again. And yeah, any other questions, feel free. But like I said, it's been a long webinar, but I really hope that some of us, we learned something today and, have our minds in maybe some different places for the future. And Zach asked what Bitcoin do in the future. I guess I'll comment real quick. Basically, as long as Bitcoin's holding the 32,000 mark, I think 40K is going to come real soon, and then we'll reevaluate. So, just keep an eye on crypto charts. I'll continue to update. But yeah. Can you make a tutorial class on ETF sometime? Yeah, if you're talking about just a breakdown on the ETF, Kimberly, feel free to ask or watch my video if you didn't, or if there's something else more specific, just feel free to send in the chat and I'll be glad to make any tutorial possible. Zach said, is the ETF possibly not going to be approved? It's possible, but it's about a 95% chance that it will be. And even if it's not approved now, it will be at some point. So I give it a 95% chance, along with all the other analysts and even people that used to work for BlackRock and the SEC. So it's kind of a destiny at this point. It's just kind of waiting. But yeah, I think that how can we help building Atlantis? Feel free to reach out. If you have any ideas, any feedback, anything, we're all open ears, glad to help and partner with anyone. And, we're all community here to make this the best platform for staying up to date, becoming free spiritually and mentally, financially, in all the ways. And we hope our best to just lay out the tools and the guidance. How may I utilize this presentation and start up as an AI integration consultant service, if that made sense? Yeah, that's something that would be more of a detailed kind of breakdown, but I'd say feel free to ask questions. Open up ChatGPT, just start asking it questions. It really will help you in so many ways and it will guide you. And we're here too. Feel free to message, send it out. This recording's here. All of our tools are here. So absolutely. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate everyone joining on, and I hope everybody enjoyed it tonight. Glad everyone was able to attend, and thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Hector, Kyle, Zach. Appreciate it all, guys. Yeah, excited for the future here. AI is taking over. Those will be my last words. Everyone have a good night.